right, I know we've had interactive sessions before the lunch break, and I want all of you to also interact with us and with our esteemed panelists here today. I have a question to ask, and I want all of you to raise your hands. How many of you agree that the degree that you're pursuing right now will land you in your dream job or any kind of a job? Okay, we have very few hands. No more. And is there pressure from your house that you need to score well, or are your parents giving you a free way to do what you like? Free way. So the youth is changing, but Mr. Kabra, I want to first start with you. The Indian education system is often criticized, saying that the kids, the Gen Z, the students are not well prepared to land any kind of a career or any practical functionality job. What perhaps are some failures that you see in education system today?
Hello everyone, good afternoon, and thanks NDTV for having us here. I'm from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and I firmly believe to the question that you asked that, are the Gen Zs or are the youngsters geared up to decide and understand what they want to do? I'm sure yes, they've got it sorted, they've got it clarified, and they're well informed because of a lot of solutions which is there available on their fingertips. To the question that you've asked on governance, I'm a chartered accountant, and governance comes naturally to me. The education sector that you've talked about, if I were to answer this question, I would tell you three parameters, three Ps: power, performance, and people. All right. If you look at these three, for any sector, I would say, this education sector, of course, it's a 140 crore population.
Yes.
It's a huge country. Education has always been one of those difficult aspects that we've not been able to maneuver yet. The reasons, I believe, is you see at the central level, you see at the state level, you see at the rural level, you see at the local level, there are so many bodies. None of these bodies talk to each other. Right. So, for example, these education institutes are there, state boards are there, NCRT, UGC, AICT, and so on and so forth. So, organizations have been made. But somehow they don't synergize, they don't talk to each other, and perhaps there is a huge vacuum. That's right. Power, that's performance. People may teachers, who want to really become a teacher today. We are staring, unfortunately, this country is blessed with the best asset that no one in the world has, that is a young population. But unfortunately, there is no one to train them. You must have seen those ads or memes on, when a judge is sitting, when a bureaucrat is sitting, when an engineer is sitting, when a doctor is sitting, and the last a teacher is sitting. Who's important amongst all of them? I mean, the first one have been created by a teacher. Right. So the teacher is the most important. And actually the fact is, we are staring at a huge vacuum of qualified people to become teachers. And the reason is performance. There is no incentives for performance. Today, only the people, so, we say in chartered accountancy, there are two kind of things. One is kitab padh ke aur dusra hai pair padh ke. Same way in the teachers, ek kitab padh ke aata hai aur ek pair padh ke aata hai. Right. Unfortunately, the incentives are for all those who are jo second category mein, first category mein koi nahi hai. And I believe, personally, if you were to ask me, just as judges in this country are given privileges, protection, incentives, I think teachers also should get that. They need this. Right, they are the ones, I'll just quickly wrap up. They are the ones who are actually shaping up the country, the youth and the power of this country. If they are not done, it's difficult. And the third one, last, is power. Most of the people who are getting education, they are powerless. The poor people or students, whatever is coming to them, they have to accept it. They can't raise a voice. There is no feedback mechanism. There is no mechanism wherein there will be action that will be taken. And so therefore governance is unfortunately very, very poor in this brilliant education sector of this great nation, India. But I think, everything is changing.
Right.
I hope even this will change.
Right, absolutely. Can we have a round of applause for Mr. Kabra for sharing his thoughts with us? And I want to take a quick question from the audience, after which I'll go across to Mr. Anil Somani. Do you think that skills are more important than marks? Or do you think that marks will perhaps lead you to your dream job? People who agree with the first school of thought can raise your hands, that skills are more important than marks. All right. What about the second school of thought, which says that you need to score marks, get into a top B school, and then you land a dream job? Just one hand. Okay, so I think both the sides are equal. We'll take that question to Mr. Anil Somani. Parents these days are demanding marks, skills, and career assurance. It's perhaps a mix of too many factors. Your thoughts on it?
So it's very difficult to give one straight answer to your question because तीनों चीजें जरूरी हैं. और पेरेंट्स की अगर हम बात करें तो वो कहते कुछ हैं और उनके अंदर कुछ और होता है. The fact is that when a kid is sent to a school, they definitely look for marks, marks and marks. चाहे वो skills की बात करें, चाहे वो किसी और चीज़ की बात करें. The education system in India is actually outcome driven. So every parent is looking for outcomes, risk mitigation by the education. And if we divide the education career into school, undergraduate and postgraduate level, so then you'll find that at schools, marks become very, very important. When you are in undergraduate level, then your career, your employability becomes important. And when you are in postgraduate, and especially when I'm talking of B school, MBA careers, ROI, which is a good institute, which gives you a best placement, etc., these become more important than education or anything else. So going forward, at every level, the outcome, risk mitigation is different, and all three are equally important.
Right, but one tip if you want to give to all the young students here, what would that be? What should they be looking at?
So basically, let me share this, and I do a lot of career counseling, and there was a time when the career was chosen, the student would say, all right, जो मेरे father ने किया, जो मेरे घर में है, उन्होंने कहा हम वही करेंगे. But then today, the maxim is different. Please follow your passion because that's very, very important. There are several avenues open for you. But then remember, always view how much room is there at the top. Everyone wants to be a film star, but you can't be because there isn't enough room at the top. So you must view how much room is there at the top, and whatever career that you want to decide, whichever institution you want to go, must see that what your risk is minimized, your career options are assured.
Right, absolute round of applause for him for giving us that a very inspirational statement. Like people say that if you follow your passion, you will end up being extremely successful. I want to come to you, Dr. Hota. Should higher education prioritize research excellence or job readiness or both?
See, first of all, having spent a significant number of years in academic and scientific research, I see education from two lenses. Number one is knowledge. Number is test the real world values. And the real world value, it doesn't come subject wise, but situation wise. Now coming to your point, research, see, as discussed earlier, academics degree, okay, this is only helpful for getting in any company or for any student to get shortlisted. It is the skills that is more important.
Okay.
So unless you have got the required skills, it is very difficult to sustain, and also adaptability is the most important factor. Now, coming to research, see what research, I also did research in CSIR. Research actually that builds curiosity, research builds critical thinking, and research builds innovation. And these three are the skills actually industry needs. If you go for the traditional theoretical research, it lacks charm. But if it is industry link, if it is application driven, if it is innovation focused, then the employability comes.
Dr. Hota, I also want to ask you that when I was in college, I was told that you should do lots of internships. I want to ask this to the youngsters here. Do you guys do internships? Are you guys in college? How many internships that do? So we have very few hands of students. Okay, we have a lot. So this just signifies that people are moving towards a lot of internships.
Yes,
during
I
college.
also want to highlight one point. Now, upskilling is the need of the hour. Because I have seen the students since last 30 years. There was a time when the companies used to look at the communication skill and the aptitude part. Then comes the coding part. I'm telling about because a lot of engineering students must be there. Now there comes the coding part. Now the companies are looking at the out of the big which extra skills what you have. And that is the parameter for the selection. Because jobs are there, plenty jobs are there, but the student need to be skilled. Just getting into a university for the sake of getting a job will not help. The most important is that academic growth is there, should be there. At the same time, skill-based work should be there, and intellectual growth also should be there. That helps for any student to get a job.
Right. Let's also take some thoughts from Mr. Kabra on internships and how important it is for students to perhaps lead to some kind of career assurance.
See, as a chartered accountant and from ICI, one thing that comes very, very easily to us is internship. The new education policy 2026, they've been talking about this, stressing on the importance of internships. Let me tell you, ICI from almost like the time it has incepted, from the time of its inception, has only focused on no world education, only internship. 3 years and now 2 years. And this is something that when you ask the question on skills versus degree, both are not negotiable. Okay. You need to have that degree and you need to have a skills also. And therefore, internships is absolutely mandatory. You need to actually go on the ground, understand, and then probably perform, and then you can, demonstrate that, yes, I know this. Theoretically, everyone is studying, everyone is reading the same stuff. Everywhere, there's the same syllabus. But what differentiates is an internship program. People may laugh at you as a cheap labor, bonded labor, this, that, whatnot, but understand, it's a part of your learning curve. It's never, you cannot compromise on that. And you cannot even buy that by whatever money that you get as a salary, because if you need to go from a level X to X plus 5, you will need that experience.
Right. A round of applause for Mr. Kabra for that thought. And I want to take one last question with the audience, and just raise your hands if you agree. Is education keeping pace with the real world? Is your education keeping pace with the real world, which will perhaps help you land your dream job? How many yes? None. How many no? So all hands are raised. That's exactly what we're trying to tell you in this session, that you perhaps need to be out of the box, if I may. I've been asked to wrap up this session, but I'm going to take quick one-word questions. I need one-word answers from all of you. Starting with you, Mr. Kabra. One skill every student should graduate with. One skill.
One skill?
Skill, yes.
My God. You said one-word answer. How do I answer that? But your adaptability. You should be able to adapt to any situation, everything that comes in. And I think to all of them, I may offend them, but if their education is not keeping pace with the changes, I think they are on a wrong direction. It is changing, it is there, but I think they are not aware. Every organization, everyone, it's inbuilt. Every education pattern is inbuilt to dynamically change, because without that, there's no survival, absolutely no survival.
Right. Mr. Somani, degree or skills?
So definitely.
One word, no explanation. Degree or skills?
No, he just said they are not exclusive. Both are both. So anyways, in today's world, skills are definitely more important.
All right. My last question to you, Dr. Hota. Would you hire a dropout with skills or a topper with no skills?
Dropout with skills.
A huge round of applause and thank you for being such an engaging audience. I now hand over the mic to my co-host, Arun. Yes, Arun, please come on the stage, and can we also please have a round of applause for our panelists being so engaging here with us.